name is Fazeela Gopalani and I am the Head of Education for ACCA for the Middle East. Welcome to our Facebook Live session on uncovering the Audit and Assurance Examiners Report for 2018, September 2018 exam session. I cannot urge to you the importance of reading the examiner's reports because students in the past have made mistakes, the same sort of mistakes, and you don't want to make those same mistakes again. So therefore, in this Facebook Live session, I'm going to talk about some of the key things that I've identified after reading the examiner's comments. So you know in your exam, Section A is 30%, 30 mark allocation, and Section B is going to be 70 mark allocation. In Section A, you've got an objective test case questions, 5 questions around one scenario. And then you've got the longer constructed response questions in Section B. You must know your international standards on auditing and have knowledge on audit procedures. This is very important for this exam. In Section B, you're going to have knowledge questions, which means that you need to provide an adequate level of detail and demonstrate to the marker that you can recall the knowledge that you have learned from studying this subject, audit and assurance. Sometimes the answers that have been written by students are too brief. Sometimes they write in note form, in bullet points. You can write in bullet points, but there can't be one-worded answers or a couple of words. You at least need to write a sentence or a couple of sentences to fully get the marks that you should be getting for that particular answer. So please don't write magic one-worded answers because that's not going to give you the maximum marks available. Now, what's very important in this exam is you understanding what the verb actually means, the verb in the requirement. If it says describe, if it says state, that's a very two different questions that are required and two different demonstration of knowledge that is required from describe and state. Therefore, first thing is, do you know what these verbs mean? And if not, you need to understand the meaning of them and to ensure that you are answering the question that has been asked. Now, questions can be scenario-based, which means you have to identify and explain things from the scenario. Or they could be more factual knowledge questions, which means you have to recall your knowledge. Now, if it is scenario-based, please pick up some of the points from the scenario. Don't just ignore the scenario, come out with vague textbook answers, generic lists that you have memorized. You need to take out some of the points from the scenario to prove to the marker that you have read the scenario and you are applying that and taking out examples from the scenario. Read all the questions carefully and read the requirements carefully. Read the scenario carefully. So for example, an assessment of audit risk is a highly examinable area. So if it says in the scenario that the company that's being audited is a new client, all of a sudden that should make you think, new? Oh, well, I have to think about detection risk, right? Now, many students fail to pick that up from the word new client, that there would be detection risk involved here. Don't be that typical student that makes those mistakes. Please, please. If you see the word new in December's exam anywhere, I hope you're going to be identifying that and not just ignoring it. Explain how each issue could impact on the audit risk. You get half a mark for this. Why would you leave out half a mark for each point by not explaining it further? Now, audit risk questions can also be combined with a requirement to do a ratio analysis. Please, in audit and assurance, do not calculate more than the required number of ratios. Don't go crazy and think, oh yeah, I love ratios. I'm just going to go calculate every single ratio I know. No, you only need to calculate the ratios that you can then discuss and link back into that question or the requirement. Do not provide the formulas. Don't spend time writing out the formulas in audit and assurance. I just said something very different when I spoke about performance management or financial reporting, but this session is on audit and assurance. Do not provide your workings. You will not get extra marks for that. No credits given for that. Internal control, highly examinable area, often includes a knowledge requirement. Now, students fail to score high on the knowledge requirements. So what does that mean? You need to practice those types of questions. Provide recommendations and describe them properly. Don't just regurgitate textbook answers. Ethics and corporate governance questions will be somewhere on your exam. And there, in that topic, you've got to give some recommendations. But the recommendations must be actions rather than just objectives. So please be careful how you answer ethics and corporate governance questions. Audit and assurance ACCA students out there, please stop using the word check. There are other words for check in an audit and assurance exam. Verify. Do not keep repeating check this, check that, check this, check that. Please be careful. Audit evidence, okay, is another topic. It's a key requirement is being able to describe relevant audit procedures for transactions or events. Read the technical article on audit of financial statement assertions. Take your time out and read that technical article, please. Again, what did the examiner say? Don't just learn a generic list. Please tailor make it to the specific requirement and the scenario. Also, some students have in a question this part A, B, C, D, and they just leave a part out. They don't even bother trying to answer. Answer it, read the question, write something related to that. Don't just ignore questions. You never know what you might have written might even get you half a mark. Imagine if you were a borderline student, how much that half a mark would help you. Make sure you're not just writing a list of bullet points, please. Make sure you are describing them in order to get full marks. For those of you who are doing a computer-based exam, spell check is not available, which means you need to leave some time at the end to ensure that you are rereading what you've written. Because can you imagine how the omission of the word not is going to change your answer or that sentence? And therefore, if you can't reread what you've written and it doesn't make sense, then how is it going to make sense to an ACCA marker? So, pay attention. I've heard a lot of students who've done computer-based exams say they loved doing audit and assurance on the computer because it helped them put all their thought process together. It gave them the power to edit, go back to a paragraph, add some points, delete some points. So please take advantage of that you are doing a computer-based exam for audit and assurance. Good luck with your upcoming Audit and Assurance exam in December 2018. If you've got any questions, just post them in the comment box and I'll get back to you in the next couple of hours.